Hi, happy Saturday. All right, so today on AddedBeauty, let's talk about 5 signs that you need a soft life reset. I was thinking about how I need a soft life reset myself today, and then I was like, you know what? I bet there's some reasons. Oh, watch out now. Girl's trying to get loose. There's a reason why. Well, several reasons why sometimes we don't give ourselves those little bits of soft life that we deserve. And we do deserve it. So let's talk about it. Let's see what we can figure out so we can give ourselves a little more balance that way. So 5 signs. Number 1, I'd say if you're watching this video, you're probably a little tired, probably a little exhausted, you're probably just looking for reasons or ways to be able to help yourself to think in those terms of how you're gonna add a little more softness to your day, to your week, to your life. Tell you about me, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 25 years this year. Cannot believe it's been 25 years already. Did not see that one coming, but here we are. And mom of 2 adult children, one with some special needs, high functioning, but special needs. And lots of responsibilities, paying for 2 households, sometimes helping other folks when they need some help. And I'm in school, working on my doctoral degree, which I will finish this year. And all kinds of things. I'm a small business owner. I'm looking at trying to let that go though, so that I can focus on my startup more. And I am also that woman of a certain age where sometimes you get a little shiny. Which is interesting actually, because I started hormone replacement therapy to help myself live a little softer a few weeks ago now, and it's actually been really good. Like, I really haven't had so many hot flashes. It just actually, I have a lot of lights on in here. I'm still working through my lighting situation for doing this thing, and it's a little warm. It's a warm day today too, so we live on the top floor, and it also was holding some heat in here, so it's a little warm. But I feel like for some of us who are high achievers, you feel weird, like if you're not doing something. It almost feels like resting is failing somehow, like you're not living up to your full potential, or you're slacking or something. You're not going to get everything accomplished that you have on your very long list, or on the list that someone at your job, your boss, has given you or whatnot. And you can feel guilty about it. You can feel like, on a random Saturday like today, when you could just as easily veg out, binge watch Bridgerton or whatever it is that you're binge watching, or basketball. It's March, so maybe you're going into March Madness, who knows, but so I'll tell you. So like, for example, when I took a vacation within this last year, I had to fight myself to not check my phone, not check my email, to really just disconnect. And it shouldn't be that, right? You should feel like, I'm out. I'm actually out. Leave me alone. The place will survive. It won't burn down if you're not the one solving all the problems. And if you ever get too full of yourself and think you are the only one who can solve the problems, it's a bad thing, because you can wear yourself into the ground trying to make people happy, and you still won't ever satisfy everyone. You won't make everyone happy. And then you'll mess around and have a dang stroke or something and fall out on the ground, and they will walk over your cold, dead body, say, "Oh, that's sad, that's a shame." And hire somebody else to keep it pushing. And you'll be looking down from heaven like, so I didn't have to be the one to do all that, because I thought I did, but apparently I didn't, because For me, I've been in a lot of forward motion because I'm working on looking for a new job, working on trying to figure out if that's going to involve me moving. Just a lot of moving parts, right? And so I feel like I should be in constant motion trying to make some things happen. I'm also working on my personal brand. I've always wanted to have a personal brand. So back in the day, I used to say, oh, I want to be like the Black Martha Stewart, minus the scandal and whatnots. But, there are Black women who have done this. So it doesn't have to be a model after Martha. It could be after B. Smith, or any number of other women who kind of have a lifestyle brand, some home decor things. I love home decor, fashion, all the things that make you feel like you have kind of luxe, comfortable surroundings, and maybe also in a way that helps you do it without having to break your whole bank. So, I'm working through on my long list of things that I'm working on what my branding is going to look like. And so on a random Saturday, I give myself a little bit of rest, but I also feel like I need to keep pushing forward towards that mark to get those things lined up. But what else happens when you're not giving yourself a little bit of rest and a little bit of that soft life? It's like your body starts to scream at you. And my body has done that too. Last year, I was diagnosed with diabetes. And I hate that for myself. And so we're going to get rid of it. I'm already actively working on getting rid of it. And it's a combination of nutrition, exercise, working on bringing down my stress level, because a lot of what has happened with me with this was stress related. My doctor even said that. She's like, you're not overweight. Sometimes it's hard to tell in this seat because I'm, I got certain spots, but I'm not a big girl really. I'm tall, I'm 5'10", but I'm in the range for BMI normal. Although it's another story for another time. The BMI ratings and all of that are based off of mostly Caucasian males. Most everything is based off of Caucasian males and females. And so it doesn't allow for you to be a person that has some curves, doesn't allow for you to be a person that has more muscle tone and things like that. But that's another story for another time we'll talk about. But so anyway, I am at the top of the normal BMI, but I'm there. And so, trying to do all the things right, eat organic, drink enough water. And stress can still be a killer. And your body will give you signs and symptoms. You'll be tired, you'll be sleepy, you might be irritable, you might have too many hot flashes. You can get into things like heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, autoimmune issues, skin issues, sleep issues, all kinds of issues, ways that your body is telling you that your cortisol level's too high, that you need to rest, you need to de-stress, and you need some more balance and some more softness in your life. So, those are some of the ways that it's manifested for me, but what it's done for me is motivate me to turn it around, as I know that I can because I've done it before. I was gestational diabetic both times I was pregnant. And that's when I learned that both my parents were diabetic. At that point, none of us knew, none of them had been diagnosed. And, it was a new thing in my family. It was like, what is this gestational diabetes, and where did this come from? Like, where'd you get that from? And then lo and behold, within the next few years, one of my parents was diagnosed as diabetic, and then so was the other one. They lived separately and on opposite sides of the country. Well, my mom's passed now, but at the time they were both alive, and because this was 30 years ago, and they have different lifestyles, or they did have different lifestyles, and one of them, my dad, was able to manage his very well and get it under control, and he's still with us and doing pretty fine. And my mom, didn't for a number of reasons, and her body broke down. And it was a long, slow, painful process, which I ain't trying to repeat. So what I can tell you is you can turn these things around, and I've done it. I reversed the diabetes both times. Sometimes just delivering the baby helps a lot, but I was very deliberate about diet, exercise, and keeping track of my blood sugar and different things at different points. And I eased up a little bit in the last year or two, just out of stress, not on taking care of myself, but on monitoring my sugar. Because every time I would have it checked randomly when I go to the doctor, I was like still in an okay range. And then all of a sudden I wasn't. So I know that I can get it back in range because I've done it before. And I'm well into the process. I'm waiting. Actually, I had some blood work done this week, and we'll see how much lower my A1C is, and I expect it to be much lower. But it's a function of you got to choose you, sis. You got to choose you. And you have to decide, where are you prioritizing? And in some cases, you've got to prioritize that slow down, that sit down, that relax, that soft life. And other times it might be that you've got to prioritize moving and shaking, but still work in the exercise, still be mindful of what you're eating on the run, all those kinds of things, right? So, but we only got through 2 of the signs. So number 3, sign that you might need to incorporate some more soft life into your daily living. And number 3 is you make good money, but you may still feel broke. And that's a bad feeling, right? I know of some folks who make good money, but maybe they're living up to that money instead of maybe living a little bit below their means on that one, so that you have more for investing, more for saving. You need to have some emergency savings. That's non-negotiable, especially in the world we're living in right now. And just maybe you've got debt, right? A lot of us, you have student loans. Again, that's why I was building out, why I have built out Ujama Financial. Let me say it right. And because there's so many of us that you may have a professional job, you may make good money, and then you may still have a lot of debt because of student loans that you got while you were trying to get the education to allow you to have that good job and make that good money. And so then that can turn into its own whole stressful cycle of, will you ever get out from under this debt that you made trying to do a good thing to get ahead? And so some of us that are in that sandwich generation can also have debt in I call it debt in both directions, right? So you got your own. Maybe you're helping your mommy, your auntie, your sister, whoever it is, but the generation above you. So not your sister, but you know what I'm saying? Adults that are in the generation above you. And you might be also helping siblings. Who knows? Everybody's got different stories. But then you're also helping your adult children, because this economy and how much things cost and how hard it is to get started on your own nowadays. Most people in their 20s and 30s, even if they are college graduates, cannot afford to just go out on their own without some help from mom and dad. Mom and dad, best darn parents kid ever had. And so while you're busy being super mom, sometimes, again, that can wear you down. And so, having some peace and some soft life also includes having some financial peace and some financial, just a nest egg, something that makes you feel like if hell starts breaking loose, you at least have a little bit of a buffer that will hold you for a while. And ideally, it should be at least a 6-month salary worth of buffer, which is very hard for people to do this year. These days, an average people don't have more than $1,000 for an emergency situation. Think about that for a second. How many things can easily cost more than $1,000? I mean, some of y'all thought it was an emergency to buy Beyonce tickets, and that cost more than $1,000. But seriously though, like, what happens if, say you're driving to work, and of course you need that job, you need that car to get you to work. Now you got pop tires. Tires can cost you hundreds of dollars. Do you have it? Or now are you on the bus? Or now can you not get to work? What happens if you crack a tooth and now you need a crown rather? Your crowns are not usually covered fully by your insurance. And so you're gonna have to come up with a G to fix your tooth. Do you have it? And any number of weird scenarios that you think you probably won't have to deal with, and then it shows up and you do, and you're like, what the flip? I didn't count on that one. So it's just a matter of, making sure that you have that buffer. Now, some of us can make it happen with a credit card. Okay, that solves the emergency for the moment, but now you have this big credit card payment. Do you want that? Not anti-credit cards. I think we all have to have one because credit is king in this country, right? But do you know that you're only supposed to use about 25% of your credit at any given time? And, if you can pay it off every month, that's the things that's going to help build your credit score. And if you're overutilizing your available credit, which in some cases is 25 to 30%, then it starts to bring your score down. So it's really important to allow yourself the peace of mind to have enough of a safety net that way that it doesn't cause you additional stress. Number 4, is your identity your job? Is your job your identity? Like, are you so wrapped up in your job that takes too much precedence over your life? And like when somebody says, "Oh, who are you?" or "How do you do?" The first thing you say is, "Oh, I'm a nurse," not "I'm a person who enjoys da 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 da." If I were, you didn't say, "I'm a Virgo rising. I'm a da da da." You're like, "Oh, I'm a nurse and I do this and I've been doing this for 25 years and blah blah blah." No. What do you like? What are you like? Like sushi. I like sushi. Tacos. I like tacos. Neo soul. Yes, ma'am. Jazz. Yes, ma'am. Traveling. And, any number of things that are not my job. Like, get a life, basically. And not let your job be your life. And if your job is taking up too much of your life, I mean, obviously you've got to work until you figure out a way not to, but put it in context. Don't let that be the whole frame of all of who you are. It cannot be all of you. Yeah. All right. So last, number 5, I would say 5th sign that you need to work on some more soft life, sis, is you're stalling. You're waiting for permission. You're holding back. Like, nobody's going to come tap you on the shoulder and say, yes, go. You got to tell yourself. And you're worth it. You've got to, like, what are you waiting for? What am I waiting for, right? I'm not waiting. I'm working on it. I'm working on my brand. I'm working on my savings. I've been working on my credit. I'll tell you one thing I did last year to build my credit score up, and I'm pretty good right now. I'm in the 800s. Was consolidating some debt, but in a way that didn't hurt my credit. So there's some companies out there that will tell you you should stop paying. Like, say you have a bunch of debt on credit cards and you're like, oh gosh, I can't keep up with this. There's these companies that'll tell you, don't pay it for a few months and then let us renegotiate your debt. And then the companies are gonna give you like half off your debt, and then you can make a payment plan and all this. But that's not, for me anyway, I'll speak for myself. I don't think that's the way to go. Not giving financial advice, but I can tell you that that way tanks your credit score. You basically, it would be as bad as like if you declared bankruptcy. And so, you know, certain things that you'd want to do that you'd need credit for, you'd have to wait several years to do. So if that's worth it to you, then maybe that's your option. But for me, I was able to take my credit card debt and put it into a second mortgage. And, you know, that of course brings your rate way down on what you're paying on your credit card debt. And I had some equity in my house, and so it worked out well. I have the cards with zero balance, and my score went up and my payment went down. And now also, I had a line of credit that was like, I was making a decent sized payment on it every month, but the majority of all of that payment was just going to interest, which is a waste of money, right? So when I refinanced the credit card, I refinanced that equity line of credit too. And so put them together. Now every payment that I make will chip down at my principal, as it should have been the whole time. And my credit card payment is way lower. I had another one that I moved over. That's a good thing to do sometimes too, as a reset. Like, you know, we get those things in the mail and says, hey, you can transfer your balance, and then you don't have to pay interest on what you transfer for like a year, or, you know, 13, 15 months, whatever it is, the offer that you decide to choose. There's usually different offers that'll come through. But that's one way to chip down your debt faster too, right? Because for those 12 to 15 months, as long as you're not charging more stuff on, if you could keep your payment the same, like what you were paying before. So I'll give an example. Say you were paying $300 a month on your one credit card. Okay, so now you have zero interest for those 12 months. So for 12 months, don't pay $150. Like, at least half of what you were paying before is probably going to interest. So every month, your balance is only moving down maybe $100 and some. Well, so now pay the same $300 while you don't have any interest. And by the end of the year, you would have knocked off $3,600 instead of knocking off, you know, $1,500 or whatever, $1,700. You see the difference. So those things will, A, improve your credit score, B, get you out of debt faster, and C, take some stress off your brain, right? Take some stress off your dome. So, you know, I'm trying to find any and all ways to do that. And I'll share with you the tips that I find as I go along. But that's some of, you know, simple math things that I did that helped a lot just in a couple short months. And then this year, you know, I will be knocking down some more debt, which opens up the money that I would have spent on the extra interest or the extra debt. I can invest. I can save towards retirement so I can retire before I'm dead. And I can travel. Imagine the luxury. Let's travel. Let's go. So, yeah, I think, you know, if you stop and think about what's holding you back and you go, I'm giving the job way too much energy sometimes, and do they really appreciate it? I'm not saying don't give your job all the effort that it deserves. You know, I'm not saying don't be a good employee. Of course, be a good employee. Do, you know, your best efforts, represent yourself well, dress for the job you want next, if you want a job, right? But if you're looking to be an entrepreneur, if you're looking to stop trading time for money, if you're looking to have that laptop lifestyle, I keep hearing some of these other creators and people talk about it, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Then you got to start thinking in a little different way. And those are the things that will help you get, some of them anyway, that will help you get to that softer life faster. And as you continue to work on yourself, like I'm continuing to work on myself, maybe those right people will come into your life at the same time. So I think the energy you put out is what you draw back. So if you're happier, if you're more settled, more peaceful, you know, there's just more joy around you and more positivity and things like that, and then you're going to attract that in, and it just keeps building on itself. So that's what I'm working on. I know those 5 things, I probably hit almost all of them, and that's what made me say, oh, okay, come on, we can do better than this. Let's do it. All right, so let's do it. Come on. Let's breathe on it. Breathe some positivity on it. Remember, you do deserve that soft life. We are delicate flowers. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We are the blueprint. We are delicate flowers, and we deserve our flowers. And if somebody's not giving them to you, give them to yourself in the meantime. Add some more beauty, like I said. Find ways to do it. Give yourself flowers, literally and figuratively. Feed yourself well. Treat your body like the temple that it is. And let yourself flourish. All right. Please like, please subscribe. Please come back and hang out with me some more tomorrow, and we will work through it. All right. Bye.